For more, visit tcm.com/festival.
Hi there, I'm Alicia Malone, and welcome back to 31 Days of Oscar, where our theme is Oscar Goes Back for More. That's right, we're watching a lineup of Oscar-nominated or Oscar-winning remakes. And our next film was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, both for Best Supporting Actress. Directed by Douglas Sirk, it's the 1959 version of Imitation of Life. Both this version and the previous film were based on the best-selling novel by Fannie Hurst. The previous film, released in 1934 and starring Claudette Colbert, was a big success and stayed fairly faithful to the source material. Producer Ross Hunter decided to make a new adaptation, entrusting the directing reins to Douglas Sirk, with whom he'd worked several times before, including on the excellent melodramas All That Heaven Allows and Written on the Wind. Sirk decided to deviate from the source material, though the final script by Eleanor Griffin and Alan Scott keeps the central relationship intact, a friendship between 2 single mothers, one white and one black, each with a young daughter. Lana Turner stars as Laura, a struggling actress who finds help and friendship from Annie, played by Juanita Moore. Their grown-up daughters are played by Sandra Dee and Susan Kona, and John Gavin also stars. For Lana Turner, this movie came at a difficult time in her life, not long after her mobster boyfriend had been killed by her daughter in self-defense. It was a major news story, and many thought the scandal would end Turner's career. But Ross Hunter took a chance on her, and Turner agreed to work for a lower salary up front in exchange for a percentage of the profits. The film was a hit, and it all worked out very well for Turner. Later she wrote, "I'll never forget Ross for saving my career, and for more than that, for saving my sanity." With Oscar nominations for Juanita Moore and Susan Kona from 1959, this is Imitation of Life. That was the second film adaptation of Fannie Hurst's 1933 best-selling book Imitation of Life, and like the first film, it was a big hit at the box office. In fact, at the time, it became Universal Studios' biggest moneymaker ever. Reviews were fairly positive. Variety called it one of the best Universal films of recent years, while Bosley Crowther, in his usual curmudgeonly fashion, wrote in the New York Times that, much the same as its soggy predecessor, it is the most shameless tearjerker in a couple of years. Imitation of Life received 2 Oscar nominations, both in the Best Supporting Actress category for Juanita Moore and Susan Kona. For both actresses, this was their first Academy Award nominations, and the other nominees were Thelma Ritter for Pillow Talk, Hermione Baddeley for Room at the Top, and Shelley Winters for The Diary of Anne Frank. Winters walked away with the gold. Stay watching TCM's 31 Days of Oscar because we have more Academy Award-nominated remakes coming up. After the break, we'll see a Western from 1960 that was a remake of a critically acclaimed Japanese film.
Next on TCM, The Magnificent Seven, then A Star is Born, and later, Showboat. Oscars rolling on the river tonight.